I'm in pain. I don't think I'm gonna make it through this whole book. Love it. It's so exciting. Swoon. Hello everyone, it's Fionn and welcome back to my channel, Christine Crucinal Eva channel. I hope you are all well. I am feeling so excited because I'm starting my first Christmas book today. It's the 2nd of December, I can't wait any longer. It's happening. I have 3 Christmas books that I'm going to be reading in this video, but today I'm starting with Love Like Farms by B.K. Borison and I'm very excited. I've read one other book by this author back in the summer. I read First Time Caller and I absolutely adored it. Probably my favourite romance book of all time. So I'm definitely excited to get into this one. I have been warned by a trusted source that it's not quite as good. My friend told me that all 4 books in this series to her felt like they had conflict for conflict's sake, and I didn't get that vibe at all from First Time Caller, and nor did she, so I am bearing that in mind, but I'm hoping I'm still just going to love the writing and the romance as much as I did in the other book by this author. So that's exciting. I've got my Christmas bookmark out, I'm ready to go. I've got a Christmas jumper, it says I'm having a meltdown. Life's good. I'm going for my first ever curly haircut today, so I'm just waiting for my hair to dry because they asked for me to come with freshly washed hair, but it must be dry, and that takes a really long time. But I am gonna hop on the train soon to get there. Oh man, I'm just so excited to start my new book. What do we think? I'm super happy with it. I think I look great, I'm not gonna lie. Which is a great way to feel. Yeah, it's so defined, it's so much shorter, which is what I wanted. I just think it looks great. I do think it's not gonna look like this when I do it myself, but hopefully it will still look decent. I'm really happy with it and I'm pretty proud of myself for going because that was quite a big deal for me. But anyway, that is not what you're here for. You're here to hear about the book. And I started it on the train and then I read a bit more while I had lunch, a bit more on the train back. I've read 44 pages and I'm really enjoying it so far. I think I just love the way she writes. I just, like, our main character, I didn't realise this was fake dating. Not my thing, usually. However, she's just so clearly in love with him and I just love reading about love. Like, when characters are genuinely in love and it's just oozing out of them. Swoon, I just love it. So we're following, wait, I don't want to spoil this for anyone. I don't think this is a spoiler. We're following Stella and she owns a Christmas tree farm, but the farm is not doing well. And so she asks her best friend to fake date her so that they can get a promotion done. But she's applied for this thing saying, I run this Christmas tree farm with my boyfriend and we're so happy and it's the most romantic place on earth. But she doesn't actually have a boyfriend. So she's asked her best friend, who she's in love with. And it's just reading so wonderfully. I'm really happy for her and I know where it's going. I know they're gonna fall in love and I think they already are, but I know they're gonna be open about it and actually get the relationship and the love and the happiness they deserve, and I can't wait. So yeah, I think I'm just in a really great mood. Perfect. I was actually reading this in the cafe and I was like in mid-conversation with my friends on my phone and I was like, oh, I don't want to stop and answer their message, I want to keep reading, so that is a good sign. Yippee! I'm just loving it. They're just so perfect for one another. They're truly, truly best friends. And that's so nice, and that's the way that love should be. I am kicking my feet. The tension, the yearning. It's so exciting. if this is a dream, I'm gonna be so mad. You're gonna be kidding me! BK Barson just does it so good. I finished the book and I loved it. It was just so wonderful. The love, it was just so full of love. Like, they just genuinely loved each other, and I love reading stories like that. The conflict, and I do this because it was a bit naff, it was a little bit unnecessary, but I do get why it was there. But it didn't last very long. It was resolved pretty quickly, and it wasn't dragged out into this massive thing like mountains out of molehills, which sometimes happens. It was just a bit of confusion and a bit of hurt feelings about things miscommunicated, but not miscommunicated, but things that just kind of came out wrong or were taken differently. But I don't know, it wasn't bad, and I don't know if that's because I was kind of prepped for it. I knew it was coming because of what my friend had said, or if I genuinely didn't think it was that bad. I think I just really click with BK Barson's writing, because First Time Caller I obviously absolutely adored. This one I loved, probably not quite as much, but I still just had such a good time, and I'm so glad I picked it up, because I think in years gone by I've avoided Christmas books because I'm like, well, I don't love romances anyway, definitely not cheesy ones, and I kind of felt like a Christmas one would be a cheesy one because it's like Hallmark. But it just worked for me, and I loved it. I loved the characters, I believed in the characters, I felt for the characters, I felt connected to them, I believed in the love, and perfect. It was just so good. I love the way she writes her characters, I love the way she writes her romances and the connection between the two characters. I find her love interest attractive. I just think she writes really great romance for me, and I love that. Yeah. I don't feel like it was superly Christmassy. I think it's just because it's set on a Christmas tree farm and they're starting to prepare for the Christmas season, but the book starts in the lead up to Thanksgiving, so I thought it was going to stretch over into Christmas, but I was wrong. So I actually think, okay, I'm not someone who really abides by reading books in the correct season. I'm not too bothered by that, but I think you could, like I probably could anyway. Although actually, I didn't want to pick this up until it was December, so I'm wrong. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't feel like Christmas was a huge, massive part of it, so I think you could pick this up at any time of the year and it wouldn't be wrong, per se. And I don't like fake dating, but I liked this fake dating. And that would have put me off. That would have put me off if I had realised that going in. So I'm glad I didn't know. I'm glad I didn't do any research. But it just worked so well. I just love it when characters are aware of their feelings, but something's holding them back from talking about them. And then, so we've got Stella, who knows she's in love with her best friend, but she doesn't want to ruin the friendship. So she doesn't do anything about it, but she's not trying to tell us as the reader or herself that she's not in love with him and she doesn't have feelings for him, because she knows she does, and I really appreciate that. And then there is a plot line that means they end up fake dating for a situation, and he was fully into it, and I loved that. He wasn't holding back, he was being truthful, like, to how he felt, and he said, yeah, we'll go for it and we'll act as if we're really together, and he really did, and I just loved it. Like, he was so quietly confident in a really wonderful way. Not cocky, just confident and just willing to give it a go. And I just loved it, and I loved them together. I liked the side characters. I'm guessing, who are the other ones about? I mean, is the next one In the Weeds or Mixed Signals? I think In the Weeds. I'm guessing one of the next books is about Beckett and one about Layla. I don't know who the fourth one is going to be about, but I am definitely reading them all. I'm so excited. I loved it, if you couldn't tell. Yay! So my gut feeling is a 4.5 star. I know I sounded like I was going to rate it higher, but it wasn't like squealing the whole time, but I mean, it was close. There were definitely moments, but yeah, gut feeling 4.5. Love it. Yippee. So let's put that down. In fact, I'll put it up here in the recently finished shelf. And next I will be picking up The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter. Should we read the blurb? No, I'm not reading the blurb because it worked well for me not reading the blurb for the last one. This one's pretty short. It's only 292 pages, I think. 293 pages. I'm doing terribly at getting through books at the moment, so hopefully I'll make some good progress on this in the next couple of days. Yay! I'm only 20 pages in, but I am very much thinking this is not for me. Let me read you some quotes. The main character is Maggie, and the male main character is Ethan, but his name is not Ethan to Maggie. His name is Ethan full stop freaking full stop Wyatt, and he calls her Marcy because he, I'm guessing, just doesn't know her name, or that's how they're gonna play it. And I just read when he reached for the safety rail that ran along the ceiling of the jet, his shirt rode up, and was that an ab? Yes, there were definitely abs under there, the kind that you can see and presumably touch. But Maggie wasn't thinking about touching. Nope, not even a little bit. Literally. All the things that I was just saying about BK Barson, of like, they never say like, not that I care, not that I'm attracted, not this, that and the other. They just I don't think I'm gonna make it through this whole book. A couple of pages later, she turned to see him near the back of the plane, digging in a suitcase and pulling out a fresh shirt. When he grabbed his old one by the collar and slid it over his head in one smooth motion, he looked like an ad for body wash or body spray or just bodies in general, because the move revealed muscles she'd thought only existed on book covers. I'm in pain. I'm just over halfway through Holiday Romance and I am loving it. It's so fun, it's so cute. I really believe in the characters and their connection. It's a friends to lovers, so they already cared really deeply for each other at the start. We saw them like meeting in the very, very beginning and they weren't huge fans of each other, but they quickly got over that, and it's just a scrumptious romance. They're just starting to kind of explore their feelings for each other and explore their relationship in a new way at where I'm at, which is so exciting. It's just lovely. So we're following Molly and Andrew, and every year, they're both Irish, but they both live in Chicago and they have done for years. And every year for the past decade, they have ended up on the same, so the first couple of times they ended up on the same plane, on the same flight home for Christmas, and then they've arranged it to go together since then. And they've had some issues this trip with cancellations, delays, all of that malarkey. So we're watching that unfold. And in the meantime, watching them fall deeper and deeper and deeper in love with each other. And like I say, they're just starting to explore it, and it's so nice. I love the characters. They're so positive. They're so, like, willing to consider each other in other ways and be so grown up and mature about it and explore their feelings. And it's just, they're just nice people. They're nice to each other. They're starting to be nice to themselves. They're working through some stuff, and that's absolutely fine. But it's lovely to see, and it's just, I'm having a wonderful time. The only thing I will say is this book is predominantly in the present tense, and every now and then she throws in a random word in the past tense, and it doesn't quite work for me. I think in most of the sentences I can see why she's done it, but to me it's still like doesn't feel right. But that's literally the only thing, so I'm not complaining. I finished Holiday Romance and I just loved it. I'm not going to bore you with everything I've already said, repeating that, but it was just so fun. I believed in the love so much. They just loved each other so much. And I think it's pretty fair to say friends to lovers is absolutely my thing. I knew this before, but this video has really confirmed it, because loved, as opposed to whatever this trope was. Rivals to lovers, not for me. So in this video we have read 3 Christmas books. Love Like Farms by B.K. Borison, 4.5 stars. I just loved it. I definitely want to read more of this author's work, because the 2 that I've read so far have just absolutely slapped. I've really enjoyed them. Then we had The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter. DNF'd this one, not for me, but I hope someone else will love it. And finally, Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh, 4.25 stars I've settled on, because it wasn't quite as good as Love Like Farms, but I still had a really fun time. It was just that thing I mentioned about the writing not always making perfect sense tense-wise, like grammatically, but the actual plot and the story and the love, loved it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!